Bricks are usually rectangular because in that way they are most suitable for building the vertical walls of our houses. However, anyone who has had to do with the stacking of stones of a non-cubic type will be well aware of other possibilities. For instance, one can make use of tetrahedrons alternating with octahedrons. They are not practicable for human beings to build with because they make neither vertical walls nor horizontal floor. However, when this building is filled with water, flatworms can swim in it. He read the letter Bernhardt had left.
Dear friend Moldenki, some years back, as I gather, the government phased out the postal cats. Heretofore, as you may be aware, the government is actually paying them 10 chitta per week to eat the rats and other rodents that were eating the mail. A kind of twisted food chain deal. That plan went along nicely for a time until some jellyhead in some post office hole decided that further rules were needed in order to stem the tide of profiteering, slave-holding, and poison rain which rose among the cats. These rules were known as the Private Bag Ordinances, the PBO. And they generally held that the rats of a given mailbag were the private and exclusive property of the cat who could daily stalk the area of the bag. Naturally, this served only to increase the dominance of the stronger cats over the weaker cats, as you might expect. Not surprisingly, the weaker cats lobbied for ordinances declaring that all bags must be watched equally, and that all proceeds should be divided accordingly. Enough of this, Moldenki. I'm off to the greenhouse. See you in the city. As always, Bernhardt.
She came to him as a stranger in the tropical garden. He first saw her figure in the banana leaves. He spaded earth ceremoniously and watched her from the corner of his eye. She tossed a banana flower at his foot and warmed him with the flow of spirit and a smile. He raised his trowel and indicated the greenhouse. They walked along the rows of succulents, pressing thick leaves between their fingers. She broke open the stalk of an ice plant, drew a circle on his forehead with its juices, made an X inside the circle. The space around them fell into silent patterns. The space around them fell into silent patterns. She lifted her Indian dress and dipped a foot in the frog pool. 2 suns were up. 2 suns were up. She said her name was Cock Roberta.
Tropical gardens, bow! Banana Man.
Banana Man.
Banana Man. Banana Man. Banana Man. Banana Man. Banana Man. Garden. Tropical banana man.
Banana Man.
Banana Man. Banana Man. Banana Man. Tropical garden. Moldenki.
During the years previous to the mock war, Moldenki was employed at the tropical garden as a banana man.
sat on the seawall chewing stone picks and watched the first artificial sun break apart and burn out. A slow, dry rain, white ash persisted through summer, fall. By winter, a second sun was up, blinding to look at and almost warm enough.
Eagleman's moon, the first moon, had been a shadow game, a projection of zero on a screen of gas. A mock month before it went up, Moldinky learned of it in a letter from Bernhardt.
Dear Moonless, you will soon have a reason to take a look at the night sky again. Eagleman has a moon on the drafting table. The concept of it is difficult even for me to grasp, the way he explains it. Actually, what it amounts to is not much more than a photograph. A slide picture of the old original moon projected against the gassier layers. And he's provided for changing your slides for the various phases and so on. A very efficient, quite portable moon. Moldanky. The man is a repository of mechanical wisdom, a swarm of intelligent thoughts in his head. Someday we'll all look to Eagleman to get us through. Mind what I say and keep your eye on the sky. Hopefully yours, Bernhardt. When the government moons went up, Eagleman's moon came down.
Moldanky had postponed the matter of booster hearts until one of his lungs had collapsed. Bernhardt had written a letter.
My dear declining dink, it's not an altogether cheering prospect. You moonchild, you moonchild. I sat back and let you be overtaken by a flotilla of polyps. The physician's ethical silence and deference to your feelings. I couldn't sleep. Never again, son. Where it pertains to you, nature drives in rearward gear. I watch the teeth rot out, the eye close, and now the heart is down to a slug's crawl. In this case, I will not sit back and let the long Moldanky line run out of ink. May I suggest a set of booster hearts? The surgery is child's work. You swallow the pill and dream about a necklace of planets or whatever. I'll install the hearts myself, I admit. I wouldn't mind putting on the rubbers again. It's been a number of seasons, and when it's all over, when you got 4 little pumpers helping the big one along, we'll each take home 2 sheep for the barbecue. Look at it that way. Your Dr. Bernhardt. Dear Muldenky, if you place a cup over the ear, you can hear the boosters working. As your physician in the narrow sense, I advise you to do it frequently. Monitor yourself. And as your friend in the fullest sense, I would say, avoid any avoidable excitement. Your friend, Dr. Bernhardt.
Dear doctor, I woke up to the sirens this morning with a chest full of nettles. I couldn't avoid it. I behaved accordingly. It was good to get your letter. Your patient, Muldenky.
Dear Muldenky.
Dear Muldenky.
Medically speaking, you shouldn't do more than a sheep would do. Sirens can't be helped. Imagine yourself in a mock meadow grazing, in a stable being shorn. Work on it. Quickly, Dr. Bernhardt.
Dear Dr. Bernhardt, no more than a sheep would do? Should I assume that the operation failed? I was able to do more than a sheep before with 1 heart. Am I to assume that the operation did nothing? Anxiously yours, Muldenky.
Dearest Dinky, what we're after in this particular surgical procedure is longevity. You will probably live longer, though not as well. We're looking for quantity here, and it also has its dangers, most notably the fact that if one goes, they all go, or be satisfied with the brighter side. Since the main one can't possibly fail until the other 4 in succession do, you'll have a warning, an unmeasured period of grace. We should all be so lucky. We should all be so lucky. We should all be so lucky. Yours, the one of hearts, Doc Burney.